What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got the official reveal of Set 3 of Keyforge. And you might be thinking, hang on a second, haven't you just looked at the official reveal of the new set of Transformers? Yes, I have, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I have. But we got a new Keyforge set, and what are we going to do? Not do a video on it? No! That doesn't sound like me. Now, this was revealed over at Gen Con on a live stream, as we figured it would be. They did reveal two new houses, as we figured that they would. One of them is Dino's Boom called it. And it has been confirmed that houses will rotate out. That is to say, there will be 7 houses available in each set. They will not be the same 7 houses every set moving forward. We also got confirmation that we are going to have a new set every May and every November. There are only 2 sets a year. Compare that to, say, Pokemon that has 4 sets a year, and Transformers where it's still a little bit in flux, but it very much looks like they're doing 3 sets a year. 2 sets a year is low, but given how many new cards there are in each set, given that we do see every card potentially seeing play, due to the nature of it being a unique deck game, and given that it takes a long time to get to grips with, I mean, put it this way, ladies and gentlemen, with most trading card games, within a couple of weeks of the set releasing, we got half a dozen archetypes that we like and we play them. And don't get me wrong, we see that a bit in Keyforge. When Library Access Nepenthe Seed was very popular, lots of artifact hate. Shadows is very popular, but the fact of the matter is, Keyforge has a lot more possibilities than your average card game, ergo, makes sense to have fewer releases. The new set is going to be called Worlds Collide. It is going to be coming out in November, and it is going to feature 250 new cards. The good news is that there has been an article gone up on the Fantasy Flight Games website telling us that there will be 405 cards in the set. That is bigger. That gives us about 45 more new cards and about 15 more cards in general. This is good, ladies and gentlemen. This makes it a huge set, and this is kind of wonderful. But we have some new houses and we have some new abilities, some new rules, so to speak. So one of the new houses that we are going to be getting is the Saurian Republic, the oldest coherent culture on the Crucible. It's a dinosaur house, right? Told you it was going to be dinosaurs. Although it has risen and fallen many times in its long history, the Saurians have survived and thrived over epochs. Under the lead of the wise Saurus Rex, first among equals in the Saurian Senate, they live side by side with the other peoples of the Crucible, a shining example of what the hegemonic political party calls lesser beings. Some argue that the Republic is in decline, but others say simply it has outgrown its expansionistic warmongering days. The tribes of the Saurian Republic trace their lineage back to dinosaurs placed on the Crucible some 65 million years ago. Wonder where they got that number from. Although there's substantial variation both between and within the tribes, Saurians tend to be large and physically imposing creatures that even the giants of Brobnar would think twice before fighting. But more than that, the Saurians pride themselves on their philosophical debates led by brilliant minds like the Philosophosaurus, and technology so advanced that civilizations that are lesser than them might mistake it for magic. Now, Philosophosaurus has actually been shown to us. It is a 4-power creature with no armor, and when you reap, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, archive 1, put 1 in your hand, discard 1. A card that frankly reminds me very much indeed of Igor. Now, we have seen a couple other cards from the Saurian Republic, but they all deal with the new Exalt keyword, which we'll get to in a minute. Now, coming along with them, we've seen the oldest house, we've now got the newest house, the Grand Star Alliance. On their continuing mission of exploration, the crew of the SAV Quantum found themselves falling through an anomalous energy field and crash landing on the Crucible. Despite this setback, the scientists, explorers, and small military contingent of the Grand Star Alliance remain dedicated to their mission, boldly going where no man, woman, neuter, or other gendered being have gone before. The Star Alliance has spent decades exploring the galaxy, bringing dozens of star systems into the peaceful and democratic alliance. Since their crash, the Alliance crew have built a small city where their polyglot multi-species community from dozens of star systems have managed to survive. Their crew brought with them advanced technology, including sophisticated computers, jetpacks, ray guns, and the omnipresent wrist modules that links each crew member back to the Quantum Central Computer. For their part, Captain Val Jericho and her crew are happy to enlist native guides as they set out to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Cool. Sounds like fun. Now, we have seen a couple cards from here as well. Incidentally, this house is exactly what we all thought it would be, which just means that the house logo does what it should have done. So Captain Val Jericho then is a 5 power, 1 armor creature. During your turn, if Captain Val Jericho is in the center of your battle line, you may play 1 card that is not of the active house. That's phenomenal. That's like an every turn helper bot. That's absolutely brilliant. And it's play a card, not play an action, not play a creature. That's play a card. This is like over the top phenomenal as a card. Now, we do need a ruling, and the ruling is if you have an even number of creatures, and I assume the answer is no, can it be in the center of your battle line? With an odd number, it's easy. But this will mean that sometimes you have to not play a creature so you can maintain an odd number of creatures and keep her in the middle of your battle line. That's going to be a really, really interesting one for me. But either way, Captain Val Jericho's like brilliant. We've also seen a little bit of a glimpse at Commander Chan, a 4 power, 0 armor creature. When you fight or reap, you may use another friendly creature. It does not say of this house, so the implication is you can use a creature from any house. It does not say ready and use another friendly creature, which means you cannot use an exhausted creature. It's got to be a ready creature. And of course, we've got 2 cards here from the Grand Star Alliance, and both of them let you house cheat. Methinks this might be one of the things that it does so well. Oh, we've also got First Officer Frayne here, 4 power, 0 armor. When you play, fight, or reap, a friendly creature captures an amber. Yeah, that's pretty good capturing, ladies and gentlemen. And you can do it when you reap and when you play. So play a friendly creature captures an amber. Doesn't have to be Frayne, it can be anyone. And then every time you reap, you gain an amber and capture. Yes. All of the yes. Now, the bad news is that with houses coming in, houses are going out. Not forever. These houses are not being abandoned. They're just not in Worlds Collide. And they are Sanctum and Mars. Now, I would be upset about Mars, but Saurian Republic's just about to be my favourite house, so I'm kind of cool with it. It's going to be a while before I can play Mars and Saurian Republic in the same deck, which is a little bit sad, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I will get over it. I'll be fine. We did discuss what was going to happen here, and I suggested that the most sensible way was to rotate the houses round. So essentially, every set is going to have 7 houses. It just depends which 7 they are going to be. And then presumably in the next set, Mars and Sanctum will probably be back, and more will be leaving. I would not expect new houses in every expansion. I think it's safe to assume that we're going to get more houses as time goes by, but I think next November at the absolute earliest. So we've got a couple of new mechanics, and they all revolve really around tokens. So first of all, we've got the ability to ward a creature. When a creature becomes warded, you place a ward status counter on it. Okay. And then when the creature would either be damaged or leave play, you discard the ward counter and you're fine. Now, you can only have one ward counter on at a time, which means your opponent can attack you to get rid of the ward counter and then get rid of you. The way it's worded in the article is, if it would be damaged or leave play, so presumably a card like Lights Out that would make you return the card to your hand would not actually work here. It would be thwarted by the ward counter. So you have to get rid of the ward counter and then play Lights Out to get rid of the creature. It kind of acts like a better elusive. Although if you've got a ward counter and elusive, they need to get rid of the elusive, then the ward counter, then they can actually attack you. So let's look at some examples of cards that can give you ward counters. So we've got Force Field. Force Field is an upgrade that gives you an amber bonus, and the creature gains Reap, ward this creature. You reap, you get a ward counter. Has to be on the creature that's reaping. That's kind of cool. And we've also got Medic Ingram, a free power creature. We can't see whether there's any armor. When you play Fight or Reap, you may heal 3 damage from a creature and ward it. That's really nice because you get to heal and ward any creature. It doesn't have to be your own. We've also seen a new Untamed card that can get a bit of the old warding going on. The Feathered Shaman, 2 power, 0 armor with elusive. When you fight or reap, you ward each of the Feathered Shaman's neighbors. Well, that's going to be pretty gosh darn useful. Remember, you can only have one ward counter on at a time, but this is going to keep refreshing them rather nicely indeed. We're also getting a new mechanic, Enrage. Now, we've seen Enrage in many RPGs over the years. I mean, I've been playing Persona 5 and Enrage is a definite thing in there, and it does exactly what you would expect. If you have an enraged creature, it has an enrage counter on it, and it must be used to fight if able. Basically, it's Little Rapskull, but just for that creature. Little Rapskull says that all your creatures must fight if able. And that goes for both players, incidentally, yours and your opponent's. So, you know, Enrage can be fun. Stop your opponent reaping or using any actions they might have. And an example of a card that can lead to this would be Ire Staff. It's an artifact that gives you an amber bonus, which has an action. Enrage a creature, give that creature a +1 power counter. So it says a creature, not friendly or enemy, so you can enrage your opponent to stop them reaping / using actions, but you have to give them a +1 power counter, or you can enrage your own creature that you only intend to fight with anyway and give it a +1 power counter. Given that it's an artifact, you can pick the same creature every single turn and just build up a super bulky creature, albeit one that can only fight. We've also got a Shadows card, which is able to do a bit of the old enraging here. Pestering Blow. It is an action card, and it gives you an amber bonus, and you deal 1 damage to a creature and enrage it. So whereas Ire Staff might be better for enraging your creatures, Pestering Blow is very much for enraging your opponents. That's the goal of that one. And finally, we are bringing in Exalting. When you exalt a creature, you place 1 amber on it from the common supply. Now remember, when a creature is destroyed, the amber goes to the other player. So if you put an amber from the common supply on your creature, your opponent can then destroy the creature, they get the amber. That's pretty bad. So frankly, if you're exalting your own creatures, you'd better get one whole heap of a good effect from it. And generally you do. Now we're seeing a lot of this on Saurian creatures at the moment. So we've got Legatus Raptor, 4 power, 1 armor. When you fight, you may exalt Legatus Raptor. If you do, ready and use another friendly creature. So you have to put an amber on it, but you get house cheating. So, you know, risky, but maybe not too bad. Now, we have seen a few other cards that do kind of similar things as well. We've got Paraguardian, a 6 power, 1 armor creature. When you reap, you may exalt Paraguardian. If you do, ward each of its neighbors. So we've actually got a mixture of 2 of the new mechanics coming in here. You got to put an amber onto Paraguardian from the common supply, but you then get to ward each of its neighbors. So again, there's a fairly powerful effect coming in here. We have Senator Shrix, 4 power, 1 armor. You may spend Amber on Senator Shrix as if it were in your pool. And then when you play or reap, you may exalt. I'm assuming it is Senator Shrix. Now this is awesome. Because generally speaking, having Amber on a creature is bad because your opponent can then basically steal it. But here, you can get the Amber onto Senator Shrix and then spend it when forging a key, which is pretty gosh darn good. Having said that, between you getting the Amber on you and you getting an opportunity to spend the Amber to forge a key, your opponent will have a turn in which they can unfortunately try and destroy Senator Shrix, and that would go badly. We've also got Questa Jata, it's got elusive, and when you reap, you may exalt it, and if you do, gain an Amber. So you put an Amber on Jata, which your opponent can then try and grab, but you also gain an Amber at the same time, so again, it's working for you as well as against you. Now, as exciting as all that is, and oh my goodness, it is, check this card out. This looks different to other cards. It's also a special rare with an A07 designation. It is the first card we've seen that doesn't have a regular set number. This is an anomaly, hence the A in the numbering system here. They are incredibly rare occurrences, so you can expect them, I would say, in 1% of decks or less, purely guesswork. And they can manifest in any house. So the Grim Reaper I've got on the screen here isn't necessarily a Brobnar creature. It can be a Brobnar creature, but similarly it could come up in any other house. They've just shown us Brobnar as an example. It's got no loyalty. And it is both good and bad. When you reap with the Grim Reaper, you purge an enemy creature and a friendly creature. Yeah. That's both good and bad. But if you are haunted, the Grim Reaper enters play ready. What does haunted mean? If there are 10 or more cards in your discard pile. Do remember, there are only 36 card decks, so 10 cards is a not insignificant amount of cards to have in your discard pile. I am hyped, ladies and gentlemen, to see more anomalies. I'm already thinking of doing a ranking the anomalies video, and we've only seen one of them. Currently number 1, as it turns out. But this looks super fun. Anomalies, we know so little about them. We know they can come around in any house. We know they've got a special designation. I am crossing my fingers they're hollow cards. I don't know if they're going to be. They're probably not, but it looks like they maybe could be, and that would be amazing. But I am hyped for anomalies. And as if all that wasn't enough, we've got some information about products as well, though we need to be quick. So, you're going to be able to get the usual 2-player starter set. It looks like it always does. Key tokens, 2 decks, chain trackers, the counters you need, etc. Though it does introduce those new counters for Enrage and Ward, which you won't have got in the first 2 sets because they weren't a thing. But you can also buy a deluxe Archon deck, which is basically a 1-player starter set. You just get half of the starter set. Although that's a bit of a misnomer, because you do actually somehow get more damage counters, and you get 18 amber rather than 22 in the first one. But that does kind of make sense, I suppose. And then we've got the Keyforge Worlds Collide Premium box, where you get 2 unique decks, a chain dial, a premium collector's box, a token box, 5 individual deck boxes, a sticker sheet, 15 armor tokens, and 54 status counters. Yeah, there is absolutely zero chance I'm not going to be getting that. Okay, so we've got a new set, we've got 2 new houses, we got house rotation, we got a release date, we got 3 new mechanics, we got new products, and we've got anomalies. Is that enough for one video? I feel like that's enough for one video, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anything I missed, comment section, we'll get to it. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely hyped for this. I mean, I was going to be hyped for Wave 3 anyway, but oh my goodness, have they exceeded my expectations in awesomeness. But I would very much like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Keyforge and other games. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.